You will be speaking this evening. There was a sign-in sheet here. We ask that you please direct all comments, questions, and concerns to this board. Please speak into the microphone. If you do need to speak to one another, we ask that you please take it out into the hallway. It interferes with our ability to hear those that are speaking. And as always, we'll ask and request that you be courteous to one another. First, let's motion to open this evening's meeting. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion that we open the Board of Architectural Review and Historic Preservation's meeting for May 22nd, 2013.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Welcome to the May 22nd, 2013 meeting of the Architectural Board of Review and Historic Preservation. My name is Curtis Highsmith, and I am your chair. We'll introduce our panel. Unfortunately, Brian Brady will not be here this evening, but we have Christina Redding, Esther Pastor. We have Ham Hogue. We'd like to welcome our historic consultant who snuck in here, Zach Studenroth.
Slunk in.
Our legal counsel, Bo Robinson, and as always, Antoinette, we welcome you as well. We're going to start this evening's meeting with signs, and the first application sign.
Point of order. Point of order being that it's supposed to be on this agenda. I went to the building department, paid my fees, wrote 2 checks, posted this sign, and if I'm not incorrect, this is 7 p.m., this is the Architectural Review Board, I'm not on the agenda.
It's the file in the, I'm sorry, the name on the file and the address.
My name is Skip Ralph, I'm the owner of the 1708 house.
Is the file here?
No.
Okay.
And
Unfortunately, we don't have the file, so therefore we can't.
well, of course, you don't have a file, so this will just take a few minutes. I went through this malarkey 7 years ago, paid $7,000 in architectural fees. This is for the rebuilding of 2 cottages on the property. Most of you are probably familiar with the property. And I got some cock and bull story about the fact I couldn't put the foundations under them. Well, I was busy, and
You do realize you're speaking now, but it's not an open application, so.
I understand. This
you
is
would
a
have to
point of
report.
order.
Okay.
It's a point of order.
It's not a court of order. by the
I
way.
posted this. I'm supposed to be on this meeting, and I'm not in this meeting. I'm not going to sit here for a couple of hours and you know, be a
Skip, what's
jackass.
your application for?
Well, it was just to rebuild the cottages.
I see, okay.
Now, I don't believe, and I spent my life in real estate, that I need to be approved by any board whatsoever. I'm not looking for any variance or any of that nature, okay? In fact, I'm going to make these 2 cottages, I plan to make them somewhat more conforming than they are because they're built in the 1880s, okay? Not by the present standards, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, and I'm thinking to myself, I got to be out of my mind to be thinking about spending $250,000, $300,000 plus to rebuild these cottages. I'm only doing it because, not for myself, but for my children. When I kick off, I thought it would have it in order so that if they decide or if they sell the property, that people that might be buying it would know that they could go ahead and just do this. I don't believe, I'm pretty certain that I don't need to speak to this board or any other board because I'm not looking for any
The
variance.
property is located in the historic district.
So,
Well,
I'm
my question-
expecting, I'm about to finish, I'm expecting, it would be nice to get an apology for this oversight, and the return of the true tax would total $635. I want nothing more to do with this village.
Thank you. First application, signs, please.
First application, Chairman, is from DAZ, who is an electrical contractor, not a builder or an architect, and there's a letter in the file, which I think you wanted to discuss after the meeting on protocol, but I would not be prepared to vote on this application this evening myself.
Is the applicant present? Okay. Motion to adjourn.
Curtis, I wrote a letter to the building department after last meeting. That was personally delivered over there, that refreshing the department's recollection that there are only 2 types of candidates qualifying for this sign, and that's a contractor and the architect. Rather than adjourn this, I don't know why it appears back on the agenda, but I would
My
suggest the
understanding
board
was-
dismiss it. I believe you'd have jurisdiction to dismiss it, but there's no point in keeping it on because prima facie it's an electrical contractor, not a general contractor, who doesn't qualify under the statute.
Okay.
So he has to be a general contractor to put a sign up,
Correct.
even though he's the only person working there.
That's correct.
Well, that's.
The intention of
there's
the,
no
of the
information in
law,
front of the, excuse me, there's no information in front of the board that that's the
Okay.
case. Pardon?
But I understand now.
the intent of the law that was taken back during the Romanowski administration, and I believe it was Bill, I'm pretty sure it was Bill Manger, who was the trustee at the time, put a lot of time and effort. I think the whole administration spent about a year and a half to make it clear that either the architect or, if you will, designer and the primary builder, whether he be listed as a general contractor or as a construction manager, be the ones there for identification and safety purposes. We were getting a flotilla of every trade: painters, electrical contractors, plumbers, pool people. The list is endless, tile contractors and so forth. And to minimize the littering of the sites and so forth, this decision was made very carefully by both this board and by the trustees. And I think the letter states that. In fact, it's written into the code, very clearly stating that. But I think what you're saying is that the building department has still got this on the agenda. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So at this time, we would have to, well, it would.
Dismiss without
It would be
prejudice.
dismissed without prejudice, okay. A motion to dismiss without prejudice.
I make a motion that we dismiss the application for the contract to sign for DAS Electrical Contractor without prejudice.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next application, please.
Next application, Mr. Chair, is Paula Ka, 42 Jobs Lane, for a storefront sign.
Is the applicant present? Please step forward. Your name for the record, please.
Joseph Kelly.
Was just a little confused as to color as well as font of the sign that's going up here. Looks like you took a black and white and
I did the best I could according to the guy's instructions. I also, there's attached a color close-up of the type of letters.
okay, so
And I actually have the actual,
You have a copy?
I have two of the letters actually in both colors with me, if you would like to see them.
yes,
You want
please.
to bring
Sure.
them
Let me just table here.
Yes.
As you can see, it's a two-toned sort of logo. So two of the letters are cast brushed brass. Sorry.
Are they less than 12 inches in height?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the brushed brass, which is heavy. And the nickel or whatever material that is, that are the other letters.
Christine, comments?
No, I think it's kind of nice.
Esther?
It's very interesting, clean looking.
Pam?
Handsome.
Any public comment on the application? I have no objection as well. Motion to approve?
I make a motion that we approve the storefront sign for Paul Carr at 42 Jobs Lane.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Next application, please.
Next application is two applications, one for a storefront sign and the other for a window sign for Isaac Mizrahi.
Stacy Menzer, Hampton Signs.
Ms. Spencer, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
We'll take care of the main sign.
Change it to pink, right?
We changed it to pink.
Change it
He
to-
changed it to pink.
Okay. Is this the correct font,
It is.
color,
Color, yes.
pink and white?
Yep,
Will there be any lanterns, any illumination or anything?
I believe not.
Believe or don't know?
It's a pop-up store, there will not be.
Okay. Christine, any comments?
No, I like the pink.
Very
Esther?
good looking.
Good, it's just a change of color, it's fine.
Okay. Motion to approve.
I make a motion that we approve the storefront sign for Isaac Mizrahi at 44 Main Street.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 And the decal in the window, correct? Any questions? Christine?
No.
Ham?
Nope.
Esther?
None.
Any public comment? Motion to approve.
I make a motion that we approve the window sign for Isaac Mizrahi at 44 Main Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next application, please.
Next application is for Little Bird Healing Spa.
Stacy Minzer, Hampton Sons.
I'm sorry?
On Hill Street.
Yes. Green, white lettering.
Yes.
The symbol there with the little birdie there, is that a corporate decal, a corporate
It is,
logo?
it is their corporate logo.
Okay. And a telephone number.
What kind of bird is that?
I don't know.
It's a little bird.
It looks like the Partridge Family bird.
You're
I
right.
don't like the phone number.
Yes, I'm old enough to know the Partridge.
That is your
Family.
generation.
Yes, oh, thank you.
It's a good show.
Ham, any questions?
No, I like
That's
the
The
bird.
phone number?
You have an issue with the phone number?
I agree with her, with your comment. I don't think we need a phone number on a storefront sign in Southampton.
Christine?
Yeah, we talked about this before. I just don't think we need the phone number on it. That's not the purpose
Were
of
they
the
sold
sign.
on the telephone number, or is it something that you've spoken with your client?
I have spoken with my client, and they are sold on it.
They sold on it. Well, this boy's not. So if you're unable to get the sign approved this evening based on the telephone number there, is that something you can
All right, so
communicate with
that, so that if we take it off, can we get approval for it? With the
Yes.
removal of it? Great.
your- Okay.
Are
So
you
it'll be
willing to-
subject to.
Subject to, yes.
You have no issue with that? Can you communicate
I do
that
not.
with
I
your-
will communicate with them. If they want to resubmit, we'll resubmit with who knows what. They can come talk to you.
And you, hold it, you have the authority to speak on their behalf then?
I do. I would like to get this approved as quickly as possible, and if they in fact want to resubmit for some other reason, they can do that.
Very well.
Any public comment on the application? Motion to approve, subject to.
I make a motion that we approve the sign for Little Bird Healing Spa without the telephone number at 16 Hill Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, thank you. Next application is Figu at 68 Jobs Lane for a storefront sign.
Stacy Manzer, Hampton Signs. Thank you for asking, because you always do, so I looked it up this time. It is a luxury clothing and accessory store by Stephanie von Wattsdorf. And I got that information just for you, Christina.
Another 30 seconds and you're going to get charged for it.
I know, just because of you were limited to the imposing that on the building itself. Is that the actual font?
That is the actual font, and it is dark brown.
Dark brown?
Dark brown.
Okay. Christine, comments?
I like
Esther?
it. Good.
No, it's fine.
Any public comments on the application? Motion to approve?
Is it pronounced Figu? We don't know. Okay, I make a motion that we approve the sign, the storefront sign for Fig or Figu at 68 Jobs Lane.
You,
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Thank you.
And our final sign application.
Chair, for last application is Sea Green Designs LLC, 40 Jobs Lane for a storefront sign.
Shannon Willie, Sea Green Designs.
It's okay. So the sign is going to be on two locations, front and rear, correct?
Yes.
See green design, simple color, that is your color as well,
Yep.
as well as your font.
Yep, that's exactly it.
You proposing any type of lantern, any lighting?
No.
Christine, any comments?
No, I think it's lovely.
Esther?
Very nice.
Yeah?
Appropriate.
Any comments from the public? Motion to approve.
I make a motion that we approve the storefront sign at 40 Jobs Lane for Sea Greens Designs LLC.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck.
That concludes our sign permits for this evening. First application, historic, closed for written decision by council.
In the file is a decision in the consensus of the board approving the application. An affirmative vote on the motion would be to approve the application.
Motion to approve written decision by council for Andrew Hodge.
I make a motion that we approve the written decision by council for Andrew Dodge at 300 Halsey Neck Lane.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Chairman, next application is Chester's House, 3 sets of driveway gates. There is a notice of posting, affidavit of posting rather, and of mailing in the file.
Applicant present?
For the applicant, John David Rose, 5 Main Street, Southampton, New York. As Mr. Hope said, in your file should be a affidavit of mailing, affidavit of posting, of which I have extra copies. In addition, in your file should be pictures of the gate in question, a survey showing the 3 locations, with colors.
I believe it does satisfy our transparency rule, or at least the code and direction we're looking for.
John, are these iron?
They are powder-coated iron, yes. They'll take on oil rub bronze color.
Handsome.
Beautiful.
Christine, comments?
No, I think they're very nice.
Esther?
Very handsome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very nice. And
Any
appropriate.
public comments on the application? John, you've been around a long time, but I'll say it just for our record. Property is located in the historic district and therefore requires written decision by council. So that will be empowered now for our council to prepare that at our next meeting. Questions? Motion to adjourn for written decision by council.
I make a motion that we adjourn the application for Chester's House on Halsey Neck Lane, 3 sets of driveway gates for written decision by our council.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
For 3.
Thank you.
Next application, please.
Mr. Chair, the application is for a new structure, 2-family, single-family dwelling, 2-story single-family dwelling, excuse me, attached garage and pool house, Lifton Green LLC.
Good evening, I'm the architect. My name is Val Florio.
Val, I just have a question. Is this house right next to the one that you're now doing? Are they side by side?
This, it's correct. This is for the northern lot. There are 2 lots, and you had pre-approved
Right.
this house on the southern lot. And what we've done, it's been purchased, so this house we've shifted to the north.
Right.
It's the same house which was approved back in January with one change on the entry facade. It has an eyebrow dormer instead of a flat roof dormer on the face of the building.
Okay.
So,
So it's the same structure, same finishes,
One lot over.
yes.
and one lot over,
That's right.
if you will, but instead of it being a flat roof, you have an eyebrow, is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Excuse me, I work for Lifton Green.
Your name for the
Jennifer
record,
Serrato.
please.
Don't speak with the chair.
Your name for the record, please.
Jennifer Serrato.
Okay.
Mr. Hoag said that it's the same house that you had previously approved for 400 Beachcomber. Yesterday, I submitted plans for a revised house for 400 Beachcomber, so you won't have 2 houses, 2 exact same houses next door to one another.
I'm sorry, the plans you're proposing this evening, you've,
In other words, this application being completely separate than the previously approved application, when you come to bring that application forward, would be different from this. Is that what
Yes,
you're saying?
yes,
So in other
that's
words,
fine.
you're not going to have 2 houses of exactly
No.
the same nature,
Exactly.
but in any event, this application has changed in that you've added an eyebrow window at the entrance. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Zach, have you had a chance to look at this?
I did, but I'm very confused by what you just said.
Well-
Because my first reaction was to have 2 large-scale dwellings next door to one another looking virtually identical. It seems
They're not. I
like
think,
an
But
unfortunate.
I think what he said, what she
Yeah.
said, if I may,
Yeah.
is that this application stands on its merit, that it's shifted over, that there is no application on the previous, that they're
Well, that was
rescinding.
approved.
That was approved, they're rescinding that application.
Right.
Yeah.
So the new application is for a different design.
yeah, I think to keep it simple, we've got 2 lots, one to the north, one to the south.
Right.
So the southern lot was purchased, and we've shifted our pre-approved house to the northern lot. So the buyer of this southern lot, it's an entirely different design. What Ms. Serrato was trying to say is it's a barn-style house. It has nothing to do with this particular application, which was approved. It's completely different And at that time, you'll probably see it in June. June is the next, when it was set for the agenda. And you'll have an opportunity to comment on that lot, which we previously had to the south.
What is being built on the southerly lot?
She put in an application, a barn-style house, which looks nothing like this. This is a shingle-style.
What is to prevent what has been approved for the southerly lot to be built
To
on
be
that
built.
property?
Nothing.
You will. You'll have your
No.
opportunity.
you have an
I'm asking a separate question.
Right.
What has been approved on the southerly lot in January or whenever is a design that's been presented, which is in fact virtually the same as what's being presented this evening. So theoretically, two identical houses could appear on those two lots.
But they won't.
I'm just going by what's
Okay,
been
we're
approved.
talking, oh, you have to
So
understand
I'm
something.
concerned
From
about that
from a legal
reality.
standpoint, at this point, you can build that home. Until you've come before this board with an official application
Right.
to well, not rescind, is you're actually applying for a new application because you're completely changing the style and design of the home. So you're resubmitting a new application as a revision of your prior approval.
That's correct.
Until that happens, you still have this application or this home, which is pretty much a replica of what you're proposing this evening.
Right.
Until you make that application happen, we have to go with the understanding that that application exists and that no changes will be done.
Val, our concern is that exactly what our historic consultant said was his first comment. We've already approved this house, if you will, in an adjacent lot. It stands approved.
That's right.
Okay? By sliding over on legal terms, we realize you're not duplicating the house, you're doing a facsimile of it, but what's to stop you from doing so?
Could I show you the file that she
It's
has?
not before
to-
us today.
Right,
Not
okay.
before us.
Yep.
Can I just say something? That, when I
Please
was at the
direct
buil-
it to the chair, though.
When I was at the building department yesterday, I spoke with John Foster and Diane Greger, and they're not rescinding that whole application. They're amending that application for
I understand
400
that.
beach
I
acres.
I used the
understand
wrong
that.
term,
Until,
rescinding, for the record,
yeah,
okay?
until you present before this board, that application exists and has been approved.
Yes.
And we're going under the assumption right now that that's the house that's going to be built. We can't go under the assumption that you're going to come back to us in 3-4 weeks with a new design.
I think what I can just to finally say something, I think we love this house to begin with. The design is crisp, clean, it's nice, it fits Southampton. We realize the lot is large and so forth,
But one is enough.
but
We're not-
we
we're
need
not
to
simplify it.
Yeah.
Our board
This is-
needs to look at the adjacent houses, the vernacular of the neighborhood and so forth. This
Right.
change of the eyebrow is a positive change, in my view. I'm not speaking for other members of the board. But what, in coming forward and saying that, well, what we're putting in its place is something completely different, actually raised our eyeballs onto that fact, that we realized that this land was bare just a few years ago. But if you start putting very similar houses close to each other, we're looking for the future owners in the neighborhood itself.
Right.
Is that correct?
Well, I agree with the logic behind that, but what I'm trying to say is that we're simply shifting the southern house to the north, and truth be told, we're not going to rebuild the same house. There is a real application for a different home, and I think at that time, the board will have opportunity to say, either we don't like this thing because it looks similar to the other one, and you could deny that application. But I would tell you from what she has in her hands that's been submitted to the department today, it looks nothing like the house that we've shifted over.
I'm trying to I'm trying to help you understand. We, in a way, I have to operate in a vacuum.
Right.
In that we're looking at this application and the merits of this application with what's in the surrounding community.
Okay.
What we have now is an approved application that is similar, almost identical,
Right.
just adjacent to this subject property.
So-
We cannot go under the assumptions of anything
Yeah.
other than that until that application comes before this board and we make a ruling.
Got it.
Can you
You have
give
to make the
tentative
changes.
approval on it pending the,
No.
I think it's the June 12th meeting that we're up for?
I understand the dilemma, but you have to, again,
Right.
it makes sense, I'm sure, to you that you're making the change, it shouldn't matter. But again, we're operating under the understanding that this exists You have an approval with this identical property. I'm sorry, it's identical structure. Now let's make a ruling based on this application. We can't look at future applications for their merit.
If you would assume the risk of moving forward with the assumption that we have two identical houses adjacent to each other, then you're welcome to do that.
Now, at this point, you can do one or two things. You can either A, wait until the other application is presented before this board, and we can look at each individual application based on its merits and make a ruling based at that time. Or you can ask this board to look at this application as submitted. And it doesn't seem like it's going to be a favorable decision, letting you know to start with. But we're basing it not on any future application, just on the merits of what we received this evening. So those are our options right now.
I don't know how we can do that, though. I have to interrupt.
Counsel?
I think it would, do you understand what the chairman is saying?
I do.
You're a very presentable, honest-looking individual, but the board cannot go on
Right.
oral representation without anything in writing from the owner that this is going to happen.
Right.
So I think that two things would be beneficial. One is to submit a letter to the building department from the owner of the southerly parcel officially
Rescinding.
withdrawing that application. In the meantime, the board can adjourn this for all purposes to the next meeting, at which time, if your representations are true, you will be here to make the presentation for the south lot and the north lot. It doesn't appear from an architectural point of view that there is any opposition to the north lot, so you can govern yourself accordingly during the interim. But as far as the paperwork and the official aspects of this go, that needs to unfold at the next meeting.
Right. Understood.
So are you requesting then the board adjourn this for all purposes for the next meeting?
I think the logic says yes. So,
And in the
but that
meantime, please submit a written documentation signed by the owner withdrawing, not rescinding, but withdrawing that present application on the south lot.
Well,
Or,
at the next meeting,
Or
we'll
also-
have that application, so you'll get to
No,
see
you
both.
need to withdraw it.
Right, but you'll see both regardless.
True, but
Right.
withdraw it.
Okay.
That-
Understood.
You're saying-
And bring that, a copy of that letter with you.
Council, since the application's been approved already, it's no longer an application, now it's an actual building permit to proceed
I
with
don't know how
the,
the building department's going to proceed on that.
That's-
as
yeah.
Apparently, they're going to use it as a modification.
okay. I'm just saying that there wouldn't be any withdrawal of an application with a already issued building.
Prior approval.
Now, not the building permit, they're withdrawing the approval of this board of that design.
Okay, just want to make sure that the
Yes.
verbiage is correct. You're not just withdrawing an application, you're requesting to withdraw the approved.
Right.
The ARB.
so essentially, you're asking to have this, you're asking to come back in front of us again and amend your existing application that's already been approved. Got it?
That's right.
Okay. Is that correct in layman's terms? So you're going to ask for an adjournment for this,
We've said it 3 times.
I know, but one last time, an adjournment for this, and then you're going to amend your existing approved application with your new quote-unquote barn structure or anything else.
Signed by the new owner. of that
Signed by the
site.
owner.
Signed by the new owner,
Yes,
right.
that's
If there
right.
has
Any
been a
further
change of
questions?
title, include a
Are
copy
you
of the
requesting
deed.
this, I'm sorry, Council.
But if there has been a change of title that recently, include a copy of the deed.
Okay.
Are you requesting this board at this time to adjourn for that?
Yes, we do, please.
Motion to approve applicant's request to adjourn,
Are we adjourning for all purposes or just
Oh,
adjourning?
adjourn for all purposes.
all purposes.
I make a motion that we approve the applicant's request to adjourn this application for all purposes till our next meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Sorry for the
Thank you.
confusion there.
That's okay, understood.
Okay.
I'm sorry that procedurally we have to operate this way. That concludes our historic applications for this evening. First application, non-historic.
Mr. Chair, first, the next application is for Barbara Schwartz, 120 Meadow Place, for construction of driveway gates.
My name is Colin Hogarworth. I'm working for East Hampton Fence, who will build the gate. Or who want to build the gate.
Sorry?
I want to
Alright.
build the gate, I mean, we're not sure. I have some more you
Detailed,
them, they're
Martha.
bigger.
Yeah, we
we
hope
need
so.
to.
Sure.
We need to.
Tracy.
That's not in the file now. What is the spacing of your,
Excuse me?
what is your spacing between the lot?
1 inch, it says 1 inch spacing.
What is the transparency ratio to this solid structure?
Well, it's not a solid structure.
Structure is solid if it's not made out of spaghetti. Is
that's
the
what-
material iron, first of all?
Yes.
Okay, what's the space between the grid, if you will? The airspace, the air rights,
It's 2 inches.
2 inches, and what's the piece?
Wait,
This looks
excuse me.
different.
Well, excuse me. What you've just presented here is different than what's in the file. So you're
Okay.
submitting a alteration to your original application?
Excuse me, can you show me the one that,
Maybe that's the back of it. Yeah, look, you can see this.
It's completely different.
It's completely different.
This has a border around the whole thing. This goes up and down.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
the one I just gave you is wrong. This one is the new one, so,
So these are incorrect, the large are incorrect?
This is incorrect, is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry.
That's
Because-
incorrect, or this is incorrect?
No, the new one, the EG2 is wrong. You have EG3.
So EG3 is the original application, which is the correct.
That's correct,
The
but
ones
yeah,
that you
I-
brought for
yes.
our assistance are not giving us any
Give me a
assistance.
second,
Sorry,
Pam.
sorry,
Give me a
they
second so we can
don't
have
cover it.
clarification. So this is your application that you're presenting.
That's
What
correct.
is the spacing between the
2 inches.
opening here?
It's the same.
This says one,
It says 1
says
inch.
1 inch.
Take your time.
Okay, well, I don't have it in front of me. so-
Here.
We look for transparency, as much airspace between pieces as possible.
They say 2-inch rails, but it
2-inch
does not say
rails.
2-inch spacing.
You're right.
So it would
Okay,
appear that
so-
you want to invert your numbers, so it's 2-inch spacing and 1-inch rails, is that correct?
No, it has to be also 2-inch rails, otherwise they're
So
not
it's
strong.
50% transparency?
Yes.
Is it with a border or without a border? Your new plans show a border. This is,
It has a border. It has
it has a border.
Yes.
Does this plan have a border, Mr. Chair?
This, we're not looking at this
Yeah,
plan.
forget about
This
the-
plan here.
Yes.
Okay,
That one has
so
a border around.
you're proposing now 2-inch spacing, 2-inch railing. Is that correct?
Well, if you say that, no, I mean,
Go towards the chair.
I do whatever it says over here. If it's a 1x1 with a 1-inch spacing,
Okay.
that's what we do.
This board's precedent usually is that we have at least a 2-inch
Okay.
spacing, so that the appearance of the fence doesn't give a stockade appearance.
Okay.
It tends to be a little non-transparent. It gives a little bit of a almost a seclusion rather than inviting within the village of
It's
Southampton.
more organic.
And yes, so we
don't
look
want-
at a
yes.
2-inch spacing minimum.
Okay.
Is that something that you and your applicant would be willing to do?
Yes, we will.
You will be. So you can make the changes here as a licensed architect on the plan, so we can approve the
Not a
application.
licensed architect.
You're not?
No.
Okay, then we're gonna need to see the plans that will indicate the changes,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
Are you an authorized agent of the owner?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Do you have that on the record within the building department?
No, I do not.
Okay. Then if you could clarify your drawings, as the chair is asking to show the space being increased to
Also,
2 inches or
the
more.
pillars, are they wood, are they concrete, are they cement?
There will be
Stucco.
stucco.
Will there be any lanterns?
No.
So this is
What
as.
color is the stucco?
It will be like a beige.
A beige. A sample of that would be good.
Okay.
But not the actual sample, just a picture
just
of
the
it.
color.
Yeah.
There's a little homework to do. Do you have any questions of this board?
Excuse me?
Do you have any further questions of this board?
No, I do not.
Thank you for
Christine?
helping us with the air conditioner, though. I appreciate that.
I think we need.
At least something.
We have a.
Okay, you need this one back, correct?
Yes.
If you could give,
Christine, any
Yours.
comments?
No.
would you like to have these back? 'Cause-
Yes, please.
So they don't.
Esther, any comments? Ham, any comments?
No, I'd like to see not just 2 inches, I'd like to see 3 or more. I think the more transparency, the better. I think 60% or more, at least 50% transparency is great. We live out in the village, the whole idea about transparency on gates and fences is that you don't have a Long Island Expressway feel of having a wall, and that you have some looseness to the vernacular of different neighborhoods, the looks of different neighborhoods.
Okay,
okay?
I appreciate it. Thanks for your
Have
time.
you looked at our guidelines
Are there any gates there now?
No, there's nothing there right now.
on Meadowmere?
No, at least at that property.
Yes,
there's
no,
nothing.
but on Meadowmere Lane,
Yes,
the
there
whole
are.
property
There
is
are
gated, because
gates.
you have a significant deer issue down there, right? I know the property, or the road pretty well, so it's not uncommon. There are gates all the way up and down.
Christine, issues with the 2-inch, or are you in agreement with the 3-inch?
Thank you. This goes back.
I think 3-inch would be good.
I would be
Esther?
like,
I'd just like to see it drawn up.
Esther?
I think it would be helpful to see the drawing.
okay,
Any public comment on the application?
good for you.
Okay.
Thank you
So
very
it
much.
seems the consensus of the board is even a 3-inch. Make sure that it's illustrated in any rendering. Make sure you have it before the board, before our next meeting, so that we have the opportunity for those that wish to look at the file, to foil look at it and view it before our next meeting.
Okay,
The sample of the stucco as well, and what is the color of the fence? Black or
white.
white? Okay.
I
that'd be
mean,
good.
the gate
The
itself.
gate itself.
Yes, white.
At this time, you are asking or requesting that this board adjourn until our next meeting?
Yes, please.
Motion to approve applicant's request to adjourn.
I make a motion that we approve the applicant's request to adjourn the application for the driveway gates to our next meeting for Barbara Schwartz.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
See you
Have a
next
good
time.
night.
Next application, please.
Next application is for John Luther, 57 Pleasant Lane, construction driveway gates and construct driveway gates and posts. Sorry.
Getting the feeling that people don't like people on their property. She seems to be a
Evening.
gate night.
My name is Monique Romeo, and I'm representing Mr. Luther
Okay.
regarding the gates.
Monique, are these the same gates you put on Hill Street, the ones that are transparent, beautiful and white and wood
Yes,
and
they are.
everything? And
Yes,
one of
they
the
are.
things that we're trying to lean towards?
Yes.
Just wanted to check.
So are you favorable about the application?
Absolutely.
Just asking.
I'm favorable about having some pork chops in another half an hour.
I don't even know where to go with that one. What is the spacing?
My house.
2 inches,
2 inches.
2 and 2,
2 and
2
2.
and 2. So it's
Okay.
50%. Good.
more than.
More than.
Okay, well, you just said 3 inches a few minutes ago, so
Steel and iron square.
just making a computation.
Right.
Any lanterns being proposed?
I'm
There are
sorry?
lanterns on this.
Yes,
There are. Well, are they frosted or non-frosted?
frosted,
They're frosted.
Less than 40-watt light bulbs?
correct.
Good.
Christine, any comments?
No.
Very good.
Esther?
Thank you.
Ann?
No, I think it's appropriate. I think it's great.
Any public comment on the application? Motion to approve.
I make a motion we approve the driveway gates and posts for John L. Luther at 57 Pleasant Lane.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Next application, Mr. Chairman, is Captain's Neck Realty LLC, 509 Captain's Neck, for construction of more driveway gates at the service entrance.
Such an inviting village we have.
Yes. I noticed you shaking your head in disapproval. Is it because your gates have 80% transparency?
Can he announce himself first?
I know.
All right.
Hi, my name is William Boyce. I'm a landscape architect, and I'm working for Captain's Neck Lane Realty. I brought some panoramic shots of the property frontage for your.
Very tiny.
Thank you.
I'm sorry?
Thank you.
This is
You're
very
welcome.
tiny.
These are cool.
And for the record, your spacing?
In between the pickets, there's 3.5-inch spacing.
No pillars?
No pillars. There's 6x6 steel posts, powder coated.
Pam, any questions?
No, I think they're appropriate.
Christine?
Oh, nice and widely spaced.
Clean, beautiful.
Any public comment on the application? Motion to approve?
Romanowski, no
I
comment?
make a motion that we, are you commenting?
No, he's
Make
just...
a motion that we approve the driveway gates at 509 Captain's Neck Lane for Captain's Neck Realty.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you very
Good
much.
luck. And that concludes our agenda for this evening. We have minutes from May 8th, 2013. All members present? Okay. Any comments, questions, or concerns? All members had the opportunity to review.
Yes.
Motion to approve the minutes from the 8th.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from May 8th, 2013.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Council, you had discussion?
Do the members of the audience have any commentary?
I'm sorry?
Just wondering why we have the audience still. I'm just asking if Joe and the other gentlemen have any comments.
Any comments?
Well, Joe's waiting to come to my house so we can have pork chops.
It's just nice to watch you
That's
people
ex-
operate in such a timely,
Okay, bye.
fashionable, and professional manner.
Thank you. Well, that means a whole lot. Thank you. It's one of the best compliments I've had.
Then you can close the meeting.
All right.
Good.
Motion to close May 22nd, 2013.
I make a motion that we close the the meeting for the Board of, oh, sorry, did you want
No,
to?
no, go right ahead.
Board of Architecture Review and Historic Preservation for May 22nd, 2013.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.